The airport was louder than usual that evening, but to her, everything sounded distant, like she was underwater, gasping for breath that never came. Zara clutched her handbag tightly as her eyes darted across the crowd, panic rising in her chest with every passing second. She had seen him. After 2 years of silence, heartbreak, and rebuilding herself piece by fragile piece, he was here, walking confidently with another woman by his side, smiling the same way he once smiled at her. Her heartbeat pounded in her ears, and suddenly, all the strength she thought she had regained began to crumble. Without thinking, without planning, she moved, straight toward the first man she saw. He was tall, impeccably dressed in a dark suit, walking with quiet authority. She didn't know his name, his story, or the storm she was about to step into. But she grabbed his arm anyway. "Please," her voice trembled, barely audible, "pretend to hug me." The man stopped mid-step, clearly caught off guard. His brows furrowed as he looked down at her, studying her desperate eyes, the way her fingers trembled against his sleeve. For a split second, he hesitated. Then, without a word, he pulled her gently into his arms. It was supposed to be an act, but the moment his arms wrapped around her, something shifted. Zara closed her eyes, pretending, hiding, surviving. Behind her, her past walked by without a second glance. But the man holding her didn't let go immediately. Instead, he leaned slightly closer and murmured, "Who are you hiding from?" His voice was calm, deep, steady, nothing like the chaos inside her. She pulled back quickly, embarrassed, her cheeks flushed. "I'm sorry. I just needed a moment." She tried to step away, but he didn't move. "You looked like you needed more than a moment," he said quietly, his gaze still fixed on her as if trying to read every unspoken word. Zara swallowed hard, unsure whether to run or explain. "It's nothing," she insisted, though her voice betrayed her. "Just someone I shouldn't have seen." The man tilted his head slightly, a faint, knowing expression crossing his face. "Sometimes," he said, "the people we shouldn't see are exactly the ones who remind us who we've become." She blinked, surprised by his words. There was something about him, something calm, grounded, almost magnetic. "Thank you for helping me," she said softly, finally managing a small, genuine smile. He nodded once. "Anytime." But as she turned to leave, he added, "Wait." She paused, glancing back. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then answered, "Zara." He gave a slight smile. "I'm Ayan." She nodded politely, unaware that the name she just heard carried more weight than she could imagine. As she walked away, she didn't notice the subtle shift in the atmosphere around him, the way people glanced his way with recognition, the quiet respect in their posture. Ayan watched her disappear into the crowd, his expression thoughtful, almost intrigued. For the first time in a long while, something had disrupted his perfectly controlled world. And he wasn't sure why, but he wanted to see her again. The next morning, Zara returned to her ordinary life, small apartment, long work hours, and a quiet determination to move forward. She told herself the airport encounter was just a moment, nothing more. But fate had other plans. Later that week, she walked into a high-profile corporate office for a job interview she had nearly convinced herself she wouldn't get. Her palms were sweaty, her heart racing, but she lifted her chin and stepped inside. The receptionist greeted her politely and directed her to the top floor. As the elevator doors opened, Zara took a deep breath and walked into the room, only to freeze instantly. Sitting at the head of the table, composed and powerful, was Ayan. The same man she had asked to pretend just days ago. Their eyes met, and recognition flickered between them. Zara's heart skipped. Ayan leaned back slightly, a subtle smile forming. "Zara," he said, his voice calm yet carrying an undeniable authority, "we meet again." Her mind raced. "You work here?" she asked, her voice barely steady. One of the executives beside him chuckled lightly. "Work here?" "He owns the company." The words hit her like a storm. Owns the company. Zara's breath caught. The stranger she had randomly pulled into a hug, the man she thought she'd never see again, was not just anyone. He was a billionaire. And suddenly, everything felt different. The air, the room, the moment. Ayan watched her reaction carefully, not with arrogance, but with curiosity. "You didn't know," he said quietly. Zara shook her head, still processing. I swear. I had no idea. Ayan smiled faintly. Good. The room fell silent, confused by his response. He leaned forward slightly, his gaze unwavering. That means you treated me like a human, not a title. Zara felt her nerves slowly settle, replaced by something unexpected, confidence. You didn't act like one, she replied honestly. Ayan's smile widened, just a little. And in that moment, something unspoken passed between them, something deeper than coincidence. The interview continued, but it no longer felt like a test. It felt like the beginning of something neither of them fully understood yet. By the time Zara left the building, her life had already begun to change, though she didn't realize just how much. Because the man she had asked for a simple, fake hug, was about to become the most real, powerful, and life-altering presence she had ever known. And as you continue this journey with Zara and Ayan, get ready for twists, emotions, and a love story that will keep you hooked till the very end. If you're enjoying this story and want more powerful, heart-touching stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be part of this incredible storytelling journey.